99% without any nightclubs. We only use, last year we had an event at Charlottenborg, then we used the skate area, the big skate park. We use the sports hall on the Thursday to make big parties, and then in the daytime, yeah, I can explain. We have two programs in the festival. One which is called Block Party, which is in the streets, which is every day from 3 o'clock till midnight, or actually 11:30 we shut down. With our agreement with the police, we should be away midnight. So from 15 to 23 is in the streets, and that is where we do collaboration with all the small shops, galleries, clothing stores, record shops, anything, shoe shop, or whatever. And street events, street parties. We have like maybe 4 or 5 middle-sized street parties, and we always have one center, which is the center of the block party, where we do our main stage. But there's always like 10 events in the street. Like the cathedral that you saw before was like 50 meters from and so those block parties in the street, they should always be in a way that you can walk in less than 10 minutes from one to the next. So it's all a very local celebration of the urban space, of one neighborhood. And so the Wednesday is in the city. That's the opening day in the old city center. We have our office in Studiesras and right next to the cathedral, so it's always there, the main center. On Thursday we do Nørrebro, and on Friday we do Vesterborg, and on Saturday we do the harbor. But Saturday the block party is the bridge that we saw before. And then there's the night program that starts at 11 p.m. and that's more regular parties. We try to make them as special as possible, but it's mainly DJs and beer. If you want to be, to see beyond our concepts and our culture, what we try to do, it is more a party where people get drunk. But then we try to have a very sharp musical profile, and also we do this that each room has its own host. Like when we do a party, and the final party on Friday and Saturday, there's like 6 or 7 different rooms, and each room, I'm talking about the Club Clash now, the night program, each room has one host, which is typically a music label or some promoters doing whatever, hip hop or techno or whatever specific sound they specialize in. And the host, they do the music profile and the visual profile. Last year we put the project in we had a room last year called the distortion room, so that's where we did our own kind of visual and sound booking, but all the other rooms were hosted by a specific person. So that they get as much as possible their own identity, both visual, sound, and also clique of people. Because we try to mix as much as possible the social segments also that are and our biggest strength and credibility in the long term is that there's all kinds of people. Like we work with the punks, we work with the hipsters, we work with the bums. I mean anything, and we try to find them in all directions. The journalists we put together in a specific magazine reception. The music people, you know, there's all these cliques. And so the funny thing is this energy of mixing all these people who are all very, very specialists in their field and meeting all these other specialists in other fields, because sometimes the techno milieu doesn't work so close with the art milieu, which doesn't work so close with the architecture milieu. So and it's this mixture that creates the end product. So that's basically, from my end, what distortion is about. And from a sponsor's view, that's what it's about. It's an idea. But from your point of view, I guess it's going to be to find an installation that works in a setting on its own. I mean, it's totally open to us. If you want to work with, who you want, if you want to involve some of our cliques, I mean, of course, on the central organ within these 88 collaborations that we have during the festival. You can be your own, or you can be part of another one if you need a public, but if you're many people involved, then you have your own maybe clique of, you know, because it needs to be, each project needs to have a kind of core, social core in a way. If you want to fill a room with people so that you can create the atmosphere, but that we can discuss as we go along. And I have no idea how big an installation you want to make, but I'm looking very much forward to see it, whether it's the size of this table or the size of this building. Yeah, I mean, we're planning to make maybe a baby discotheque. So I don't know if you're interested in working with children, but that is a sound and light installation that we were actually looking for a project that we wanted to do, a nightclub for under 12-year-olds, like from 2 to 12-year-olds, with visuals, sound, everything. And it should be built in a way. I totally stole this idea from Arga I know in France. We had the idea and then he made it. So I didn't totally steal it, but and it's like grown-ups can't get in. So it's like a room which is like maybe this high, and you know, this place, and then there's a disco ball, sofas, a juice bar. But you know, maybe it's something like this you had in mind. I have no idea I mean in size. I mean, and otherwise we can make a walk-through installation for the public in the streets. I mean, there's no end, and we can make our own party. I mean, this project, I know Martin now, and we work together, so we can put you in our main room. You know, if you want that, I mean, depending on, of course, if you can fit, if you can move. But we are totally open, and as you can see, we use space and people. That's the concept. So we will do, I can tell you about the program. Well, the city will be on Wednesday, and we will have the central core of the festival on Studisral. It's very packed with people in that area, so it's a bit dangerous if you work 15 people on a big project to put it there. Yeah, I have a little film actually of the energy on Studisral and others. That's on Studisral. So this energy here. This is Studisral.
The filter is really, really small and narrow, no? So it's really packed, condensed energy.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, there's always a next street where we can make something more arty and more peaceful. I mean, we're going to start working more with experimental also. We're going to make a chill out experimental room every day now, which is going to be called the Cavern, and which doesn't have this kind of crazy dancing energy. And we want to work with children as well, so hopefully in the streets every day there will be a project for small kids. And basically we can get any allowance that we want from the commune. So, you know, if you have a crazy idea which needs an allowance